it comes to peace support operations, the integrated mission planning approach is extremely important. But in order for us to look at the approach, integrated mission planning approach, it will be good for us to have a background on those who have the mandate as far as peace support operations are concerned in the African continent. The African Union, pursuant to Article 13 of the protocol relating to the establishment of the Peace and Security Council of 2002, and Article 18 of the policy framework on the establishment of the African Standby Force and the Military Staff Committee of 2004, the division of the African Union, the Peace Support Operations Division, was established in order to handle peace support operations across the continent. And what is being provided at the level of the Humanitarian Peace Support School at Embakasi is extremely important because it provides hand-on experience. It's a very pragmatic approach because participants are granted briefs as well as working sessions whereby they can have a proper understanding of the concepts of integrated mission planning. And I think this approach is extremely important moving forward as far as the future of peace support operations is concerned across the African continent. A common language is extremely important. Here we are talking about diversity in the implementation of peace support operations or the carrying out of peace support operations across the continent. And in order for us to achieve the issue of diversity in missions, we need to build on networking because what I've realized across a lot of trainings across trainings, be it in Africa, be it in Europe, be it in other continents, the Asian continent, is that most participants are focused on their context. So the ability for us to establish strong networks during these trainings is extremely important because it's going to go beyond. These relationships are going to go beyond the classrooms. We are going to use these relationships on the field because you have participants with a very high understanding of peace support operations. We also have participants that are coming into the whole issue of peace support operations. So this mixture is going to be very important as far as conducting peace support operations effectively is concerned across the continent.
Okay, before undertaking this course, for me, peace and security operations was just for maintenance of peace and security. But after undertaking this course, I realized that it entails a lot more into the processes. For example, like protection of civilians, diplomacy, offering electoral support, economic support, among many others. And another thing, I used to think that these operations are normally done by the police and the military. But during this course, I realized that also civilians take part in these processes. Another thing is the fact that I also learned that the purpose of the police and the military in the mission is to give support to the host country, to the state forces of the host country, for example, through capacity building. And this, for me, and the many participants we have, I think this is knowledge that you can be able to use in a crisis environment or in a crisis country. So ensuring the stability of a crisis country enables the regional stability, which further makes a global stability much better. Yes.
What I can say is that this course is multidimensional. It brings different components: the civilian component, the military component, and the police component. So this gives you an opportunity to sit together with these components and understand how they work, what kind of work they do, and how can the three of you sit together and make a meaningful analysis of what is happening, and then you make a meaningful deployment in the mission training, rather than mission area.
Okay. First of all, let us agree here that when we talk of having common language between different nationalities and people from different sectors, we don't mean that all of them should be speaking Swahili or French, but we are trying to mean that they all have a common understanding and approach towards peace support operations and planning such operations. So this common understanding is very good and significant amongst different nationalities, as it reduces the differences and the tensions that arise because of differences in beliefs, in interests, and in the roles that are played in the different sectors that of the personalities involved in the planning process or the conduct of the peace operations. So when such tensions are reduced, therefore it brings unity, it brings speed, and it brings a very good approach in achieving the objectives of a mission, of any mission or any peace support operation that is being conducted. So it is very, very significant and important that we have such a common understanding and language amongst these participants so as to achieve a common goal in the peace operations.
The Integrated Mission Planning course is a unique opportunity to better understand the steps of the Integrated Mission Planning process, and also to better enhance our abilities and skills using the tool, the practical tool, in order to plan a peace support operation. So these have been 2 weeks of practical, the practical aspect of the course has given us this opportunity to put our hands on the work to be done during the planning of a peace support operation. So this will be very helpful for me in my future work as a planner within an integrated planning team. But also it was an opportunity to work with various people from various backgrounds, from all the components, civilian, police, and military, working together during these 2 weeks to create this integrated mission team. So this is also an opportunity for me to learn, to work with those different personalities, different perspectives, and to also have this ability to interact with various actors. So I think this will very help me when I come to be part of an integrated mission planning team to plan for a future peace support operation.
Okay, there are quite a number of experiences that I have had, but one that stands up for me is working on the mission design. Because when we are working on the mission design, basically what we are looking at is the end state, what we want to achieve when you are deployed. Not being part of a planning team before I deployed to South Sudan, this comes in very handy, quite informative for me, because now I can look at my mission, see where we are at, where we are headed, and so this information that I have gathered during the mission design is very, very helpful for me, and it has really informed my experience, and it's something that I will carry back to the mission.
Valuable aspects of the integrated mission planning course to me has enabled me get the exposure through meeting and then working with other people from various African countries, including the civilian, military, and the police. Through the various assignments given to us to work as a team has also enabled me to get some level of knowledge and experiences for most of them, since they are well experienced as compared to me being a young officer and working in their midst. Also, as a female infantry officer, I operate tactically, but through the integrated mission planning course, it has enlightened me on how to think strategically when it comes to the operational setting.
Actually, I've learned so many skills, but I'd specify on teamwork. Teamwork is the first one. For teamwork, you have to come together because there's a lot of practical work. One person can't do the whole work, so you have to divide the work and give people to specialize on the work. There are people who have good handwritings, there are people who have the ideas, but they can't write, can put them on writing. So understanding how you can coordinate all of them. And the second one is, since this is an integrated mission planning process, you have to understand the different approaches from all the three components. So there's civilian component, which I apply, there's a military, and there's a police component. So how they interpret the situation is not how you as a civilian will interpret it and how the military interpret it. So coming together and coordinating to get the best plan possible, because there's insisting on the best plan possible. throughout the 5 steps, I've learned the integrated mission planning process. Yeah, so that is what I've learned from this wonderful 2 weeks here.
Okay, the course actually had participants from over 12 different countries, and I think that it has been a platform whereby I've been able to interact with people from different race, different ethnicity, and people with different cultures. This course has exposed me to learn more about their cultures, respect for diversity, and moreover, how I will be able to also tolerate people's views, because everybody's view is mainly constructed depending on the point of origin or where the person is coming from. So this course gave me an exposure to learn more about people's culture, people's views, people's traditions, and at least I would say that I've been able to learn a little bit Swahili and also enjoy the food from East Africa. So the course has really exposed me to different cultures, yeah.